Qualcomm fires back at the Apple suit, seeks damages of its own. So Apple was sued Qualcomm for $1 billion in January, saying Qualcomm overcharged for use of its technology. It should have been, what do you call those? FRAND.
Fair, reasonable, and non-discriminatory.
Well, very nice, Renee.
FRAND.
You're my best
I have to read
friend.
all this, Leo.
Fair and reasonable and non-discriminatory. The U.S. FTC sued Qualcomm at the same time, charging it violated antitrust law. Qualcomm says Apple's complaints to regulators released the company of its obligation to make certain payments. What? And they're rejecting the iPhone maker's claims and launching their own countersuit, saying Apple breached agreements and mischaracterized agreements and negotiations with Qualcomm. It interfered with agreements that Qualcomm had with the contract manufacturers who built Apple's iPads and phones, encouraged various government regulatory agencies around the world to launch inquiries against Qualcomm by misrepresenting facts and making false statements. They told on us.
Yeah, how dare they?
And I love this. This is my favorite one. They also said Apple throttled the Qualcomm modem chip in the iPhone 7, which we know they did, and Apple has said they did, while misleading people on the performance difference between its modem and rival chip from Intel, and then threatened Qualcomm to try to prevent it from making its own performance claims. So it's well known that the iPhone 7 has both Intel and Qualcomm chips in it, radio chips in it, and that because the Intel chip underperformed, they throttled the Qualcomm chip, so I wouldn't feel bad because I have one with the Intel chip in it. So I'm not going to feel bad when your LTE data is coming in so much faster.
Just so Intel bought Infineon, which was the original modem manufacturer for iPhone. Apple switched from Infineon to Qualcomm. Intel bought Infineon, and they've been pitching Apple ever since then.
Got it. So there you go. So this is one of those things that in about 5 or 6 years on Mac Break Weekly, we'll be reporting the results of these lawsuits.
I have little sympathy for Qualcomm because if you start talking to people in the industry, very few people are happy with their business practices. And it does seem from country to country that, I don't know if predatory is the right word. There's a fragrance of early Intel, Microsoft market dominant control there, and you don't want to pay the amount. So just for people, Qualcomm owns CDMA technology,
right?
And if you buy your modem, you got to get CDMA,
right?
Yeah, but like only in America, mostly only Verizon and Sprint. There's a few in China use CDMA, but everyone in the world has to pay a huge additive licensing fee because Qualcomm is only making those chips with CDMA on them. They call them world phones, but the entire world is basically paying a Qualcomm tax. And they've been having huge profits for years off all of this. So yeah, fix that, please, government.
No, I think you're not far wrong. Qualcomm is virtually a monopoly in the United States. The new Samsung Galaxy S8 in the U.S. will have a Qualcomm chip, not a Samsung Exynos chip, even though those Exynos chips are ridiculous.
I mean, they make their own silicon. That could be a huge competitive advantage for them, but they can't take advantage of it fully because they have to hedge with Qualcomm because of all this BS licensing stuff. Let Samsung be Samsung.